Hey, this is Matt once again, and fair to do something a bit different. I'm recording a bunch of requests. Thank you to people out there, but want to do something a bit different because this is definitely something I'm curious about. Severin Films is releasing the Game of Clones Bruceploitation Collection Volume 1, an 8-disc Blu-ray set. Now, I know there's another bundle if you want posters and autographs and stuff. I'm not really into that stuff. I just want the movies themselves. I did pre-order this myself. I rarely do that because I'm very tight with my money, but since I rarely splurge, I decided to do it here. Because before I start, I'm fascinated by these movies. I am. I'm completely fascinated by these movies. You know, I bought this book here, which I'll upload another video showing this book. I know this is not one of the books on Severin Films website. It's a different book, but I know there's a poster book and another thing. I know I don't get any money from these guys. I wish. And no, I did not get this. They're not sending this to me because I don't get sent stuff like this from companies. I'm not that popular, or maybe they know I'm going to be too honest. But I do look forward to this, and I rarely look forward to stuff. Just like I said, to tell a quick story, I thought one of these guys was the real Bruce Lee back in the day. I did. I lived on a farm in the middle of nowhere in Iowa. At school, no one knew anything about movies, martial arts movies. The only movies they knew was the new Adam Sandler film coming out, whether it be Happy Gilmore or years later, The Water Boy. That's really all. So I heard of Bruce Lee, and didn't even have cable. The movies we had to rent were like newer films at the time, of the 90s and stuff. So, oh, here's Army of Darkness or whatever to rent on VHS. And we had ABC, CBS, another form of CBS, and PBS for TV channels. So maybe every once in a while someone would reference Bruce Lee, so I knew he was popular. But it wasn't until I was in my like 20s that I saw an actual Bruce Lee film. So the first one I saw was a VHS tape of someone called Bruce Lee the Superhero, which I enjoyed. I enjoyed it for nostalgia reasons now, but I still have fun. And I'm like, oh wow, he's kicking ass, taking names. So Bruce Lee, L-E, which you probably not going to be a C, but in this book here, this guy, again, you may not be able to see. I thought this guy was Bruce Lee, Bruce L.E., this guy. Yeah, I know Bruce Lee, he's Bruce the Superhero. Which sadly's not in this set. I highly doubt it will, because I don't think that's really, even those films, this label is one of the more forgettable ones, but again, just more nostalgia to me. Of course, it depends on, you know, if even care or they find film elements and all that stuff. But anyway, so for the longest time I thought that was Bruce Lee. Of course, years later I see Enter the Dragon and other movies. I'm like, okay, no, this guy is Bruce Lee. I get it now. Okay. But yeah, apparently this comes out in June. Although I thought I read somewhere that if you order, they'll ship it out maybe in May. I don't know if that's true, but I thought I read somewhere that was the case. But I got this because it was $135, which is a lot of money, but at the same time, it says 8 discs, but it's 14 movies and a documentary. So that's 15 things, plus a bunch of special features, commentaries. So I'm sitting there going, okay, there's a documentary I want to see. Even if that was 20 bucks, there's at least 4 films I'd be curious about. So that would be 80 bucks. Plus, I mean, shipping. So if you add shipping, I think it was $150, which I don't. I pay for more of the faster shipping. I could have gotten the free shipping, which is so it would have been 135, but I just pay for the extra shipping because why not? Even at $150, again with the expedited shipping, okay. If that's at least 4 things I wanted, I think there's like 3 movies I knew I would want in documentary. That's $80, so another $70 to include shipping and all this other stuff. I'm like, you know, 10 more movies. I thought it was a pretty good deal. I thought this would be like, I mean, it says $200 there. I thought it would be that or more. So I thought it was a pretty good deal. It says region free there. Yeah, it says here, pre-order with a street date of June. Estimated web store shipping start is the middle of May. So that's what they say. I hope that's the case. Because the street date is June 25th. So the incentive, I guess, to buy from the store is number one, you don't get it sooner. Sounds like a month sooner. And B, you get an 8th disc, which is only on the web store, not on Amazon and other places, I guess. So this goes into what it is. I mean, are they 14 of the very best? I don't know. But yeah, disc 1 is a documentary into the clones of Bruce Lee, which I'm very curious about. I saw the trailer. I'm fascinated by this subgenre. Because there's never been an actor that's gotten their own genre. Never. Can't think of another one. So the fact there's so many pretend to be Bruce, again, just fascinating. And some of them are just so, you may not call them good movies, but a lot of the ones I've seen have been very fun movies, very entertaining films, or just a lot of action. Again, it may not be the action level of the first couple John Wick films or other stuff, but chopsati fun. And then some some of the crazier elements, they become B movie entertainment, like horror movies. You get some B movie entertainment. In this case, some action is my favorite genre. So you see that there's a commentary, including Michael Worth. Michael Worth seems like a cool guy. I know he has a podcast about these type of movies. I think he's on Facebook, the Bruceploitation Bible. I left a comment. He left a reply. He was very nice about it. So he seems like a very cool guy. Part of me's like, hey, can I interview you? But at the same time, I'd be like, I don't interview people because I'm not good at it. And I'm like, I don't know. I wouldn't know what to say anyway. Tell me what's on volume 2, damn it. Give me the scoop. Working at Shaw Brothers. So some of these are like, I think, outtakes maybe from the documentary, as well as like, okay, these guys working at the Shaw Brothers studio, how was that? These guys who actually met Bruce Lee, the actual Bruce Lee, how was that like Sammo Hung? How they found the negatives to these films, how were they kept, how were they found, location tour. Kung Fu theaters on a lot of these, pretty much Michael Worth talks for like 2 minutes about the film you're about to watch to introduce it. Kind of like Joe Bob Briggs would do back in the day. Like he had DVDs, the Double D Avenger and other films where he would kind of introduce the film and then your regularly scheduled program. So I did not know at first that these were like 2 per disc. Since you have 2 movies on 1 disc, I don't know how the bitrate will be on these films, if that's the case. I guess by doing this is why it's a bit cheaper than I thought it would be. Because if it was like 14 discs, it would have been more expensive. Hopefully that does not affect the picture quality. But yeah, the Clones of Bruce Lee is a fun one. That's a really crazy one. You have the special features here. Commentary. Enter Three Dragons I have not seen. I definitely have heard of that film. Big curious to give that a watch. I know people complaining, well, it's not in Mandarin. I didn't expect it to be, and I'm fine with the dubs, because that's how I experience these films, is with the English dubs. In a way, they kind of fit with the B-moviness of the stuff. Enter the Game of Death is my favorite. That's one of the reasons I wanted to get this, to have this film on Blu-ray. There's a Blu-ray overseas, but it was pretty expensive. So I'm glad I waited for this. Like I said, there's a part of me that kind of wishes each film was on its own disc. But, you know, hopefully it doesn't screw up with the picture quality. But you did a commentary of Michael Worth. Sad that's a partial commentary. But, I mean, even if he's talking about for an hour, that's cool. It's too bad. I mean, apparently these guys are in the Enter the Clones of Bruce Lee documentary itself, so you'll hear them talk about it. But it's too bad there wasn't just a separate Bruce Lee interview. Interview with Bruce Lee. Hey, how was it work on Enter the Game of Death? So it's too bad you don't have like a separate interview with the guys who were the Bruce clones themselves. But I guess he was fine with talking about for the documentary, but maybe not separately. I don't know. There's roundtable discussion. Now, I don't know if that will talk about Enter the Game of Death itself, or just talk about this assortment of films. Goodbye, Bruce Lee. His Last Game of Death I had not seen, but the trailer looked fun. I will admit it did look fun. You have another commentary on there. Frank Jane, I don't know much about him. Dragon Lives Again. Michael Worth. He seems very informative and very gung-ho about these films, so it's cool to see him on the commentary. Deleted scenes from a French version, which is interesting. An audio essay. So it's nice that a lot of these do have features and not just bare bones. That's very cool to see. Bruce and I are Finger had not seen, so I'll be curious to give that a watch. Challenge of the Tiger. I'm extremely curious about films with Bruce Lee with L.E., because that's the one I first saw. In a weird way, that was my first Bruce Lee, so his filmography especially, because Bruce the Superhero, which again is not on this, I doubt will ever be on any. I know it's it depends what film elements they find, but I don't know if many people are looking for Bruce the Superhero. But it's cool that the clones of Bruce Lee's in, Enter the Game of Death, Challenge of the Tiger, I'm curious to see. I think the Cameroon Connection is another Bruce Lee one. So I'm definitely curious to see. I didn't realize this one is actually in French, but with English subtitles. Because really, like, that was kind of a lost film. Some of these were lost films, and this is the only way they could find it, so again, it's kind of intriguing to see these lost films that you can't find. Like, if you look for Cameroon Connection on YouTube, it's like, oh, here's a French version, and you can't, the subtitles are in Chinese. So, good luck trying to figure out what's going on. So I'll be curious to give that a look to see, because again, Bruce Lee, and it's a film you can't find. Super Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, and The Dragon Lives, I think that's kind of like movies that are kind of docudrama movies about, this is how Bruce Lee's life was. I'm sure a lot of it's BS, but I'd be curious to give them a look. Again, commentary on one. Commentary with an actress from the film, as well as Michael Worth. He's alleged he's a hero song, which I never heard that song, but it must be memorable if they don't have a whole bit about it. Roundtable discussion about Bruce biopics, TV spots. You have The Dragon the Hero. Once again, Michael Worth commentary. And Godfrey Ho. Now, Godfrey Ho, that's interesting because I know of him from the films he did where he spliced two films together. I think a lot of them had, was it Richard Harrison, among others? There was another guy, Pierre Kirby. I think he was like an actor that I guess sadly disappeared, and then I think the rumor was he died from pirates or something. Like, but yeah, Pierre Kirby. Like, they would say, it's like, here's a film we couldn't finish or wouldn't be released, so let's take half the film out and then just add all these random ninja scenes in it. So it's like two movies put into one. So that's how I remember Godfrey Hope. I guess this is a film he actually made that didn't do that. So to hear an interview with that guy would be interesting. Although I doubt he'll be talking about those films. Rage of the Dragon, I think that's one with Dragon Lee. Which maybe face-wise, he's the closest to look like Bruce Lee. But yeah, Rage of the Dragon, good title. Be curious. Indian features, roundtables. And then Disc 8, the web store exclusive. The Big Balls Part 2, which had Bruce Lee. It's one of his first films. And The Black Dragon versus the Yellow Tiger, which I don't know much about that, but I just buying that bundle. I did the Big Balls Part 2 was pretty much a lost film for the longest time. It was a lost film. I think I read somewhere that it's not going to be in the best condition, so don't expect crystal clear, which good. I don't want AI. Thankfully, James Cameron had nothing involved with this. But I'm still surprised it doesn't have a commentary just to talk about the history of finding the film, the fact this film was so lost for so long. You think even that there'd be a lot of discussion about that? I guess you have the Kung Fu Theater, and then the Black Dragon versus the Yellow Tiger. So that's definitely interesting. There's 14 films plus a documentary, plus all these features. I like the look of the set too, the color scheme. So yeah, I have it pre-ordered. Again, I don't get any tip. I just something I don't normally do this, but again, it's something I'm very curious about, very intrigued about, and also, from what I understand, there will be a volume two. Now, the rumor I heard is that it'll be at the end of the year. Although, if they're not starting to work on it, I mean, they're probably busy doing this. Doesn't it take a while to get that stuff done? So to say that'll be done by the end of the year, the second part, I would think that would mean they have a good understanding of what films will be on there. And I know I'm jumping ahead, but I'm already thinking what Volume 2 would be. Because I'm very curious about this. I'm very intrigued. I don't really, sadly, with physical media, there's not a lot I buy nowadays. So to have some of them tree buys rare nowadays. But it makes me wonder, will it be another 14 films? Will it be 10 films? Will it be 5 films? 7 films? And what will be on there? Let's say, because I don't think there would be a documentary on there. Let's say there's 10 more films. Let's say there's 10 more films. What would I like to see for the 10? Because again, the films I've seen, I talked about. The ones I haven't seen, I can't say much because I haven't seen them, including the documentary. I would say if I had to pick 10 films I would like to see in the next part, Volume 2. Soul Brothers of Kung Fu, with Bruce Lee, L.I. I think I reviewed on the channel. I remember liking that film quite a bit. Thought that was actually one of the best ones. And that's also interesting because it has alternate endings. If you did that, I don't know if you would... I guess you wouldn't include both versions of the film. Plus, I don't know how you would do that because it has Rocky music in it. That's one thing. Like, doesn't some of these movies have songs from other films in it? Or music from other films? I don't know how that works. So I guess you couldn't do Soul Brothers Kung Fu because it has Rocky music in it. Dun 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 dun. You know. So I don't know how you would even make that work. If they had to replace that music, which I would assume they would, then it kind of loses a bit of the fun appeal of those movies. So yeah, I don't know. But Soul Brothers Kung Fu has 2 endings. I guess you would have one, and then the other would be like a deleted scene bonus, I would think. But yeah, Soul Brothers Kung Fu. I always like the happier ending, where the guy lives. But I would assume, since the other was the original ending, that would be the one they use, which is Yeah. But it's still a really good movie. So I would say Soul Brothers Kung Fu #1. I would say Bruce Lee the Superhero because of that nostalgia. That was what introduced me. Of course, it's based on what they could find, film element wise. If they can't find it, then how could they do it? They can't find it. You know what I mean? But yeah, Soul Brothers Kung Fu, Bruce Lee the Superhero. This one I've heard of called The Ninja Strikes Back with Bruce Lee, with L.E. That would be interesting to see. Because I think he fights a bull in that, and he like he breaks people's bones, and then you see like an X-ray. Kind of like Sonny Chiba's a Street Fighter. I think he pulls like a rib cage out. Like, there's a cartoon X-ray where he pulls like a rib cage out. Like, and then I think you see like it's like a cartoon heart stops. I'm like, what? So the Ninja Strikes Back I would like to see. Bruce Lee the Superhero I would like to see. Soul Brothers Kung Fu. God, I don't even know what films there were. Actually, do I have... Oh yeah, I forgot there was another book I had, Re-Enter the Dragon. Which, I mean, this is much more plain. Like, this one I do like more, because it's very much more colorful. Like, look at the presentation. So it's thinner, but there's a lot more meat to the bones. Here, It's a thicker book, but you see just how plain it is. But I don't know. Is there something that has just the films themselves on it? A list of them? I don't know if there is. But yeah, it says Soul Brothers of Kung Fu, Bruce Lee the Superhero, The Ninja Strikes Back. One of Bruce Lee's early ones is on Blu-ray from a different person. Bruce's Deadly Fingers, I think it's called. So if that's the case, then I guess you could just get that Blu-ray, which I probably will when it gets closer to release of this one. Start our Bruceploitation collection. Enter the Fat Dragon would be nice, but I don't know if they'd be able to. Another company may have that with Sammo Hung. Damon Death 2 is one of my favorites, but I doubt they would get that because Arrow Video has that. You have to. I don't like the Game of Death 1 though. That's why I don't want it. I don't like that one. That's like my least favorite. I hate Game of Death 1. But I like Game of Death 2 a lot. I want that on Blu-ray, but you have to get Game of Death 1. Arrow Video, they did Game of Death 2 on Blu-ray. That sucks. So, they're not going to be able to get that, but again, this is my fantasy booking. Game of Death 2, Enter the Fat Dragon, Bruce Lee the Superhero, Ninja Strikes Back, Soul Brothers of Kung Fu. Since this is 20 minutes, I'll go a bit quicker. So those 5. And I don't know which ones would be noteworthy. Me, I would probably put more Bruce Lee, but I know you have to make room for all the other guys. I don't know, Bruce Lee's Greatest Revenge, maybe? Or Jackie Chan was in one, New Fist of Fury, but that has a Blu-ray from someone else. So you can't put that on there. So yeah, I don't know what the others would be. I mean, I know Bruce Lee did a lot, like Bruce versus Bill and all that other stuff. Let's see, what were some of the later ones that you had here? Let's see. Sorry about this, folks. I know it's not the most exciting. Let's see. So there was... I mean, I wouldn't count No Retreat, No Surrender, but I'm not really a fan of that movie anyway. I like They Told Me Bruce, but that's not really it. And there is a Blu-ray of that. That's a fun one though. Let's see. Cold-Blooded Murder. I've heard that one. That would be interesting because Bruce Lee, Ellie plays a cop. I think Carter Wan from Big Trouble in Little China, Thunder, he's in it. And they're playing cops, like looking for this killer. Oh, I'll put that on my list. Cold-Blooded Murder from 1981. That would be interesting. Maybe Bruce versus Bill. Well, I haven't seen that, so I don't know. I mean, as many of them as they can, to be honest, because this stuff fascinates me. But there's so many, there's no way you can get all of them. And some of these movies are lost. I know there's familiar ones. There's like The Image of Bruce Lee. There's one that people were curious about. Was it Exit the Dragon, Enter the Tiger, or something like that? People are like, how come that's not on it? Well, that'll probably be in Volume 2. I guess, you know, Bruce and the Shaolin Bronzeman. I don't know if that would be one, or The Treasure of Bruce Lee. My Name Called Bruce. Like I said, I don't know. I mean, I guess whenever that comes about, we'll find out. Bruce Lee strikes from the grave or whatever. There, The Image of Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee's Rays of Revenge. I mean, I don't know. Okay, I would say Soul Brothers of Kung Fu. I would say, for me, Bruce Lee the Superhero. The Ninja Strikes, again, the one where the X-ray one, I forget, the Ninja Strikes Back or something like that. I forget what it's called. You can't get Game of Death 2. You can't get Enter the Fat Dragon. You can't get those. So yeah, I mean, why not, Bruce Lee's Gray's Revenge or whatever, and I don't know, I'm just, someone who's much more knowledgeable, they would know more about it. I'd be spitballing for like 10 more minutes, but yeah, I'm dwindling here. But yeah, I'm very curious about this set, and very curious about, since this is Volume 1, what Volume 2 will be. Now, of course, I would assume if these don't sell well, then there won't be a Volume 3 or 4. And also if they can't find them all. But I mean, if you did Soul Bros of Kung Fu and hopefully Bruce the Superhero, at least that would be fine. Maybe that Ninja Strikes, but hopefully we'll get those. We'll see. But yeah, very curious about this, very intrigued. We'll see what happens. And we'll go from there. So thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.